Attraction deepens when a woman stops performing and starts being present, and this shift is far more powerful than most people realize. Performance is exhausting because it comes from fear, the fear of not being enough, the fear of being overlooked, the fear of losing interest. Presence, on the other hand, comes from self-trust. It is the calm decision to show up as you are without over-explaining, over-proving, or over-adjusting yourself to be chosen. When a woman is present, she listens with real attention, she responds instead of reacts, and she allows moments to unfold without rushing them. This creates a sense of emotional grounding that a man can feel immediately. He does not feel like he is being evaluated or entertained. He feels like he is being met. In a world full of noise and constant pressure to impress, that kind of presence stands out naturally. It communicates confidence without saying a word and creates attraction without effort because it allows connection to feel easy rather than earned. What makes this gesture so engaging is that it changes the emotional dynamic completely. Instead of trying to hold someone's attention, presence invites them to step forward on their own. A man becomes more engaged, not because he is chased, but because he feels safe to be himself. When a woman is grounded in the moment, she does not rush to fill silence or control the direction of the interaction. She allows curiosity to grow. This gives a man space to invest emotionally, which is where real attraction forms. Presence also signals self-respect. It shows that you value your own experience enough to stay connected to it rather than abandoning it to manage someone else's perception. That balance between openness and self-containment is deeply appealing. It makes a man feel relaxed, understood, and drawn closer without pressure. True attraction does not come from trying harder. It comes from creating a space where connection can naturally happen, and presence is the key that opens that door. Emotional safety is one of the strongest foundations of attraction, yet it is rarely talked about in a clear and grounded way. A man does not open his heart because he is impressed or overwhelmed. He opens it when he feels emotionally safe. This safety is created when a woman carries calm, steady energy rather than urgency or pressure. Calm does not mean passive or quiet. It means she is regulated within herself. She is not constantly seeking reassurance, testing interest, or reacting sharply to small changes. Her emotional tone communicates stability. When she listens without rushing to respond and speaks without defensiveness, a man feels he does not need to guard himself. He senses that he can express thoughts, doubts, or emotions without being misunderstood or corrected. That feeling is rare, and because it is rare, it is deeply attractive. Emotional safety allows a man to lower his emotional armor, and when that armor comes down, connection naturally deepens. Calm, feminine energy also changes how conflict and differences are experienced. Instead of tension escalating quickly, there is space for understanding. A woman who can stay centered during uncertainty sends a powerful message that she trusts herself and the process. This does not mean she ignores her needs or avoids difficult conversations. It means she approaches them with clarity instead of emotional force. When a man feels that disagreement will not lead to emotional chaos, he feels safer investing emotionally. He becomes more consistent, more communicative, and more present. Calm energy invites him to show up fully rather than pull away. It signals emotional maturity and self-respect, which naturally inspires respect in return. Attraction grows strongest where both people feel safe enough to be real, and calm feminine energy quietly creates that environment without demanding anything in return. A man feels most drawn in when he feels seen without being judged, and this experience is far rarer than people think. Being seen does not mean being analyzed, corrected, or improved. It means being allowed to express thoughts and emotions without fear of being misunderstood or labeled. When a woman listens with openness rather than an agenda, she creates a space where a man can relax into himself. He does not feel like he needs to explain every detail or defend his perspective. He feels accepted as he is in that moment. This kind of acceptance does not weaken attraction, it strengthens it. Judgment, even when subtle, creates distance because it activates self-protection. But when judgment is absent, curiosity and closeness take its place. A man becomes more willing to share his inner world because he senses that his emotions will be received, not evaluated. That feeling builds trust quietly and steadily. What makes this gesture powerful is that it does not require agreement, only understanding. A woman can hold her own values while still offering emotional openness. She does not interrupt to correct or rush to offer solutions unless they are asked for. She allows him to arrive at his own conclusions. This communicates deep respect. Respect is not about praise or admiration. It is about honoring someone's emotional autonomy. When a man feels respected in this way, he feels emotionally valued rather than emotionally managed. That distinction matters. It allows attraction to grow naturally because he feels free to be himself around you. Over time, he begins to associate you with ease, clarity, and emotional relief. That association becomes powerful because it is built on safety rather than effort. When someone feels seen without judgment, they do not want to pull away, they want to move closer. Subtle appreciation has a quiet power that loud praise can never match. When appreciation is exaggerated, it can feel performative or strategic, even if it is well-intentioned. But when a woman notices something small and acknowledges it sincerely, it lands deeply. This might be recognizing consistency, effort, or thoughtfulness without turning it into a dramatic moment. That kind of appreciation feels clean. It does not pressure a man to live up to an image or reward him for approval. It simply lets him know he is seen. Many men rarely receive acknowledgement that feels uncomplicated. When they do, it creates emotional warmth rather than ego inflation. That warmth builds connection because it feels safe and genuine. Subtle appreciation communicates attentiveness, emotional intelligence, and respect, all without demanding anything in return. What makes this approach engaging is that it allows appreciation to strengthen attraction instead of distorting it. When praise is measured and grounded, a man does not feel put on a pedestal or evaluated based on performance. He feels accepted. This encourages him to continue showing up consistently, not because he is chasing validation, but because he feels valued. Subtle appreciation also reflects self-respect. It shows that a woman does not need to overgive or over-explain her feelings to be understood. She trusts her words to carry weight because they come from sincerity. Over time, this creates a dynamic where connection feels steady rather than intense. Attraction grows in that steadiness because it is built on mutual recognition, not emotional extremes. Slowing down communication creates emotional depth that fast interaction cannot sustain. When conversations move too quickly, there is little space for reflection, curiosity, or emotional resonance. A woman who is comfortable slowing the pace sends a subtle signal that she is not in a rush to secure attention or outcomes. This calm pacing allows moments to land. Words carry more meaning because they are not competing with urgency. Silence becomes part of the conversation rather than something to escape. For a man, this creates a sense of ease. He does not feel pressured to respond perfectly or immediately. He feels invited to think, to feel, and to engage more intentionally. That invitation increases emotional presence, which is where real connection forms. What makes this approach engaging is that it naturally builds anticipation. When everything is said at once, there is nothing left to discover. But when communication unfolds gradually, curiosity stays alive. A woman who allows space between responses, who listens fully before speaking, and who does not rush to fill every pause creates emotional texture. This does not mean playing games or withholding. It means trusting that connection does not disappear in silence. That trust trust communicates confidence. A man begins to associate her presence with clarity and calm rather than emotional noise. Over time, this pacing strengthens attraction because it allows emotions to deepen naturally instead of burning out quickly. Trust is not built through intensity, constant communication, or emotional pressure. It is built through consistency over time. A woman who understands this does not rush emotional closeness or demand certainty before it naturally develops. Instead, she shows up in a steady, reliable way. Her words match her actions. Her emotional responses are proportionate to the situation. This creates predictability, which is deeply comforting. A man begins to feel that he knows what to expect from her, not because she is boring or rigid, but because she is emotionally grounded. That grounding allows him to relax. He does not feel like he has to guess where he stands or brace himself for sudden shifts in mood. Consistency becomes a form of emotional safety that quietly strengthens attraction. What makes this engaging is that consistency invites genuine investment. When a man experiences reliability without pressure, he feels free to choose connection rather than feeling obligated to maintain it. He notices that emotional closeness grows without drama or emotional extremes. This encourages him to step forward willingly. Consistency also reflects self-respect. It shows that a woman does not overextend herself to be liked or withdraw to be chased. She remains steady because she is clear about who she is and what she offers. Over time, this steadiness builds trust naturally. Trust then deepens attraction because it allows emotional intimacy to grow in a way that feels secure rather than forced. Vulnerability invites closeness when it is offered gently rather than forcefully. Many people confuse vulnerability with emotional exposure that is rushed or overwhelming. But true vulnerability is calm, intentional, and grounded. It is sharing how you feel without expecting someone else to carry it for you. When a woman expresses herself honestly without dramatizing or oversharing, it creates trust. A man senses that she is emotionally open but also emotionally responsible. This balance matters. It tells him that closeness with her will not feel heavy or chaotic. Gentle vulnerability allows him to understand her inner world without feeling pressured to fix, reassure, or rescue. That understanding builds emotional connection because it feels safe and mutual. Vulnerability offered this way does not pull someone closer by force. It invites them to step in willingly. What makes this approach engaging is that it gives a man permission to meet vulnerability with vulnerability. When he sees that emotions can be shared without emotional consequences, he becomes more willing to open up himself. Gentle vulnerability models emotional maturity. It shows that feelings can be expressed clearly and respectfully. This creates an environment where intimacy grows naturally over time. A woman who shares her truth calmly communicates self-respect. She is not hiding, but she is also not handing over her emotional well-being. This balance deepens attraction because it makes emotional closeness feel enriching rather than draining. When vulnerability is offered with steadiness, it becomes a bridge instead of a burden, and that bridge invites lasting connection. The rarest and most powerful form of attraction comes from emotional openness paired with self-respect. Many people believe openness means giving everything immediately, sharing every thought, and bending to maintain connection. In reality, openness without self-respect creates imbalance. When a woman is emotionally open while remaining anchored in her values and boundaries, she communicates strength and warmth at the same time. This combination is compelling because it feels safe and inspiring. A man senses that she is available for connection but not dependent on it. She listens deeply, shares honestly, and remains true to herself even when emotions are involved. That steadiness creates trust. It shows that closeness with her will not come at the cost of her identity or his autonomy. What makes this engaging is that self-respect removes pressure from attraction. A man does not feel responsible for maintaining her emotional stability or proving his worth constantly. He feels free to choose closeness because it feels mutual and balanced. Emotional openness invites connection, while self-respect maintains clarity. Together, they create a dynamic where attraction grows naturally rather than being forced. Over time, this balance encourages deeper emotional investment because it feels sustainable. A woman who embodies both openness and self-respect does not chase attention or withhold affection to gain control. She simply shows up consistently as herself. That authenticity becomes magnetic because it allows connection to grow in a way that feels honest, calm, and lasting.